If you've ever experienced a breakup or a divorce and feel like you're never ever going to start over, well, think again. On today's show, I'm going to have tips and advice for you on starting over and getting back into the playing field of dating. Stick around, plus answers to your questions much later in the show. It's all happening right now on a ship called Relation. Hi there, everyone has experienced a breakup. Am I right?
No, I don't know.
Are we having one right now going on?
Not currently.
No?
Not currently.
Good.
She's the most recent.
Really, Desiree, you again?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk. But no matter how bad the breakup is, and no matter how bad the relationship may have been, there's always that feeling of emptiness afterwards, right? We always feel hurt no matter what. We'll talk about why that is today, and plus I'll have the tips for you to getting back into the playing field starting right now. Welcome, ladies. Brittany and Desiree are here today. Great to see you both.
You too.
So we've all experienced a breakup at some point in our lives. Some are worse than others. And is it true that we all kind of feel like that emptiness feeling afterwards, and no matter how bad things were, it still kind of sucks?
Mm-hmm. It's almost like you forget how bad things were, and then you just have that heartbreak, loneliness for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, I always love our little chats before we actually start rolling, because we actually talk more about them there, so I'm trying to remember everything. But let's first talk about like reasons why we break up. And usually it's because one person in the relationship is extremely unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
So then it kind of brings down the whole relationship as a whole, and yet we're still left with like those empty feelings that I talk about.
I would say unhappy or not getting what they need from the other person, vice versa. I mean, I think that's why. Or different views on things. That's a huge one. I actually have a friend who was seeing someone, and their views on politics and different things were just so different that she just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, especially if you're getting older. Like now those things are, you have to
matter.
implement them in your life. So
it's kind of interesting how things like that factor into a relationship, because I'm not at all like political or religious or any of that, so that stuff doesn't matter to me as much. And it's just like me, like it's just not something that I'm interested in knowing. I just know what I need to know. But it's funny how like there's so many different deal breakers. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday actually, and this is the Twitter poll we're going to get to later in the show, that she broke up with this guy because he chews with his mouth open. So it's like they went on this date and they went to dinner, and he's sitting there, I guess, chewing with his mouth open, and she's like, oh my God, I was disgusted and PO'd the entire time. I'm never calling him again.
I can see that though. That's just a deal breaker for me.
Me too.
It's just bad manners. Like what else do you do that's disgusting? If that's how you act at a restaurant.
Farting by dessert.
Yeah, no, that's gross. Good for her.
But it's just so interesting. And as I was doing like my research, you know, because every week I always research what we're going to talk about and stuff, I came across something really quick I just want to share with all of you. It's the 18 biggest things married couples complain about. I'm not going to go through all 18, but I definitely highlighted like the top answers that women and men have given that totally PO each other. So I just want to read them off really quick. This is what the wives have to say, okay? He still leaves the toilet seat up, and it burns me every time I go into the bathroom. How many of you are nodding your head yes right now?
Yes. Because when you're drunk, which, you know, you are.
That's a whole other show.
You fall in. It's gross.
Are you speaking from experience right now?
Yes.
Please tell me more.
Or if it's in the middle of the night and the lights are off and you just
sleep
all the way in.
Jesus Christ. It's like a bidet.
But I'm laughing because after I tweeted this out yesterday, because I thought this was so funny, I got a tweet back from a woman that said that she actually laughed this time when she walked in because she read my tweet and then walked into the bathroom and saw the toilet seat up from her husband.
Gosh.
So this time it kind of like, it gave her a little smile, so happy about that. The next one, he leaves mail all over the counter instead of putting it in the mail sorter 3 feet away.
Well, I don't have a mail sorter, but
I don't know either, but
that's
we
like
have a
leaving
place
the
where we
dishes
put
not
it.
in the sink on the counter.
like
I
just
get that.
put your mail somewhere else. Like
We're
put it
gonna
in your
get to that.
room. Why you gotta leave it everywhere? It annoys me too.
Yeah.
That's just not cleaning up after yourself.
I'm
No, it's
surprised
not.
that is as common as it is.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, we don't
Yeah,
have a
I
sorter,
get it.
but we have a place where we put the
Right.
mail. But I usually still find it on the dining room table sometimes.
Uh-oh, John.
Next one. Here's one that I can contest to. I have a gold star next to it. He still puts dirty utensils and dishes in the sink instead of in the empty or dirty dishwasher. Now, here's where I usually find John's. I usually find his dirty utensils and dishes on the clean counter next to the sink.
And even in the
Explain
sink.
That's
yourself.
even more annoying.
You're this close to the sink. Just put it in there.
Yeah.
Just a little rinse.
And what's your reason, dear? Go ahead, talk to me. I'll relay what you say.
I might want to use it again later.
He might want to use it again later.
Oh,
So
that's
he's
gross.
economical or whatever the word is.
If you want to call it that, I find it gross. It's like,
It is gross.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, I have OCD, but I can't use the same fork, like especially if it's been
No.
sitting there. We have a setting of 12. Just take another one.
Yeah. Or at least rinse it.
Exactly. Such gross habits. Okay, 2 more for the women. He throws clothes next to the laundry hamper, but not in it. Why?
Why?
Why, John?
Put it in the hamper.
Not all the
Oh,
time.
no.
Denial.
It's on the bedpost. It's on the hamper, but it never quite makes it into the hamper, right? Am I right?
I dated a guy once who always had to smell his t-shirts and socks to make sure they were clean or dirty because
Oh my
clean
God.
or dirty ended up on the floor. And he would
That's
just,
annoying.
I'm like,
That is
"You're
annoying.
disgusting.
That's gross.
If you don't know that it's clean, just wash it anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even sniff socks. I mean, I know that, I have hygiene. I shower, whatever. My clothes are clean, but I still can't sniff my own socks.
I
Yeah.
don't like to even touch
It's
my
the
dirty
thought
socks.
of it. No.
Just take them off and put it in the
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many of that too that it's like even if you just throw it in the hamper, you just
Yeah.
take another one. Gross, gross, gross. What is it with men? I don't
I know.
get it.
Watch
They're
men have
dirty.
like one complaint.
I know.
Women have like 20.
Surprisingly, they actually have like top 3 that we're going to go over. But one more for the women, because this happens in our house too. He puts the garbage on the kitchen counter right next to the dang gone garbage can. People still
Basically, it
use that
comes
stuff.
down to men are
annoying.
lazy. They
Yeah.
never put things where they belong. They just gotta like put it there.
Because
Yeah.
they know we're going to clean it for
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
Why are they gonna stress over it?
Right? You
I'm
know you
telling
have
you,
a
though,
maid at home. Come
This
on.
is the trick, and it works. You say when you find something that you don't like, whether it's the seat up, and they're not in the room, be like, "Oh my God, quick, get over here, emergency! Wait, stop what you're doing! Hurry, hurry, hurry!" And they come and be like, "Can you put the seat down? Or can you just throw that out?" And I'm just gonna keep doing that until you remember.
Exactly.
Because it'll
You got to
annoy
train
them
them.
so much.
I swear, if you move their water bowl, they're not going to know where to find it. Okay, now the husbands have their complaints also. Poor
Here we
Mike is
go.
shaking his head over there. We're picking on the guys. But now the guys get to pick on the women. Here we go. She kicks me out of bed when I snore.
Well, you're snoring.
If I can't sleep, you're not gonna sleep.
Yeah, that's messed up.
I say that to you too, dear. If I can't sleep, you're not going to sleep. But I'm usually because I'm mad. That's when I say that.
I just punch them, or just give them a good elbow.
Yeah, you just
Give them
gotta
the
shake them
elbow to
up,
the
wake them
back.
up, and then
Yeah.
you're good for like another hour till you can fall back asleep.
Yeah.
The next one is she paces behind me while I'm working. Now that hasn't happened in our house, but I could see that actually happening.
I feel like I might be
Working
guilty
on
of
what?
that. Like when he's cooking or doing something, I feel like I used to always just kind of stand there and hover and just talk. Basically, I just want to talk to you, and if
think
you're not
I've done
looking
that
at me,
too.
I'm going to follow you around the house.
But I'm kind of guilty of this too. Like if he is doing something, like I'll be picking out how he's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
I do that. He's nodding his head. Yes, I'll give you that one.
Or like if he's cooking, I'll be like pulling things out and putting them on the counter because I know he's just gonna be like, "Where is that? Where is that?" But I'm probably annoying him. But I will say he was fixing the shower the other day because it broke. And I was just standing there watching him because I would just love to watch him fix
But
things.
something
and
good
I'm like,
came out of that
"Woo."
story, right?
She loves her good handyman.
And I was like, "You're so handy. Do you need help? Do you need help?"
Do
I'm like,
tell.
what am I gonna
Can I
do?
just watch you?
Too funny. Okay, I'm kind of guilty of this one myself. She gets too easily discouraged, meaning sometimes I get discouraged too. And I'm sure you're tired of hearing about that stuff. But you know what? That's their job as men to be there for us when we're feeling kind of down about
Right.
ourselves. I agree.
I'm always just like, "I quit. I'm not doing it. Nope. I'm not doing it."
And it's their job to be there to pick up the pieces. I'm sorry.
I
Okay.
agree.
I'm guilty of this one too. She worries too much. I do worry
Yes,
too much.
yes.
Somebody has to, right?
Of course,
Yeah.
if you're not worrying, then there's no care there.
There was this thing I saw one time, I think it was on Instagram, and it was this whole list of things when the woman says she's going to bed, And that means like, and there was a whole list of like, she cleans the dishwasher, she turns off the lights, she takes off her makeup, she does this, like a billion things.
Yeah.
And then when the man says he goes to bed, it was just, he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing because that is so true.
It is so
the
true.
difference.
Did you lock the front door? Are the lights
Yes.
off?
I
Is
had
the
this whole
dog
checklist.
inside?
Got all the candles.
John's laughing because I have this checklist. It's like I have to check the front door, I have to check the back door, I have to make sure the stove is off if we cook, I have
what
to
I
make
do.
sure the refrigerator's closed. Because one time the refrigerator was open
Oh, no.
and like food actually got spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh, that
So it's like
sucks.
that's something else on my checklist. I make sure the dogs have water, that they've gone out, and then I can go to bed.
And by the
Oh,
time
yeah.
that you do all that, they're already passed out for
They're
20
already
minutes
passed out.
already.
When he says he's going to bed, he goes right to bed. Somebody
That's
could break in
nice.
and murder us all. Okay, the last one. She takes too long in the shower. I'm guilty of that as well.
I mean,
I love a hot shower.
We have a lot to do in the shower, so if a guy is mad about that, then you're just going to lose out because
Gay bottoms do too.
Yeah,
Hey,
right?
we're equivalent
Yeah.
here. Same
Yep.
thing.
You got things
you got to pick your
take care
battles
of.
here.
Yeah.
If you want nice smooth legs, you got to take a 25, 30-minute shower.
Yep.
So.
Or just shower together.
Now, I don't think these are any. There you go. I just got that. Now, I don't think these are any things that we should be breaking up with our significant over, but
No.
certainly, it's definitely something to laugh about. So, back to the topic of breaking up here. The reason we break up, what we were talking about, is like one person is usually not happy, or it's just other differences, irreconcilable differences,
Right.
Yes.
as they like to say in the celebrity world. But let's talk about some of the reasons why we still feel that loss and that hurt, as bad as a relationship could be. According to my own research and my own experiences, when you break up with a significant, whether it's just a significant relationship or a divorce, you're usually feeling like hopes, dreams, commitments all just got flushed down the toilet and you completely wasted your time.
Yeah, waste of time. That's a
Yeah.
big one.
Especially if you spent years together. I mean,
Yeah.
my longest relationship has been 8 years, and then it fell apart over time, and we had a house together and everything. There was a
Tough.
lot of things that had to be
Oh, yeah.
sorted out. And at least a whole year had to go by, for me anyway, of having to deal with selling a house and people constantly coming in to look at it. You know, the first person that walks in the door doesn't buy it.
Right.
So it took a good 6 months to clear that whole thing up. On
is a
top
constant
of
reminder.
constant reminder of going home every day. And as beautiful as a house is, it's a horrible reminder, like you just said. It's
Yeah.
like you develop memories there, and hard work and blood, sweat, and tears went into the whole thing. So
I mean, 8 years you're with someone, you have to like learn how to be alone again, and
Yeah.
that's hard, especially while you're going through heartbreak.
that
no
was
one wants
scary
to be alone
for
then.
me. That was I'm
Right.
gonna say, like, I'm not gonna say it was traumatic, but it was certainly scary because
Yeah.
it was like, your whole world kind of shifts, and then all these questions go through your mind, like, am I ever gonna date again? Am I gonna meet somebody? Is this it for me? Am I gonna become a spinster? And perfectly normal to feel all of that. But the reality of it is, hello, I'm engaged now and I'm in a completely different situation, so life does go on. Let's talk about that now. Here are here are my top 4 tips that we're going to give you now to getting over a divorce or breakup. Number 1, recognize the feelings of sadness, anger, exhaustion, frustration. These are all perfectly normal to feel when you're going through a breakup. Agreed?
Agreed.
Absolutely. I think if you're not feeling those ways, you're like lying to yourself. You know?
Right.
You need to let yourself cope with them. It's okay. You're allowed to be upset or mad or
I mean, some people are probably
Angry.
happy to be rid of whoever this person
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's
true.
great too. I mean, you don't have to experience any of this great, but most of the time, like we just said earlier, it's the unknown that really
Right.
hurts. And now that I look back, and I'm older now, and I've kind of learned a lot, I think it was more the unknown that was
I agree.
on my mind more than anything. Number 2, give yourself a break, okay? You and your man just split. Cry, scream, throw something if you have to. You have to experience those feelings in order
Right.
to start the healing process. Number 3, this is my favorite, and I did this like a million times when I was
Rebound.
breaking up. That too. Have a comfort food party with your gal pals, and when they ask what they can bring, tissues and ice cream. Got me through some tough
Can't go
times.
wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with
And
that.
some wine.
Yes,
And some wine.
Champagne, celebrate.
Exactly.
Very true. Very true.
Breakups don't have to be that bad. And definitely talk with them. That's what they're there for. We've all had a shoulder to cry on at some
Yeah.
point.
Agreed.
That's what your friends are for. But now that we're coming into spring and summer, you want to get rid of that junk food really quick and get your ass on a treadmill because, honey, you're going to start over.
Yep.
Number 4, remind yourself that goal is near. Moving on, that is the goal here, okay? Yes, you're going to. You still have a future. Now, last week, I have this amazing Twitter follower. We've actually become really good friends on social media now. Her name is Kelly from West Virginia. And she sent me like this really sweet story. I mean, it's 2 pages long. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but the cliff notes of it is, she was in love at one time, and this was her question, which we're going to get to. And she married the love of her life. He was tragically taken in a motorcycle accident a couple years ago, but kudos to her for having a bad boy with a bike.
Yeah.
And her whole thing is like she wants to start over. She has started over. She's met really bad guys that have treated her bad since. Her question is, how can she, get over these feelings and start dating again and still have a future?
I mean, it's going to take time. It's the love of your life. It was only a few years ago. So, I mean, a few years is fresh. Like, to me, that's fresh. I don't care what anyone says. So, I mean, she just needs to put herself out there and just feel a little uncomfortable. I mean, when you feel uncomfortable, I mean, that's sometimes you get to know yourself better by putting yourself out there. So, just work through it. And, when you're ready, do it, but don't rush yourself either.
Right.
And I think she has to realize that it wasn't like a breakup. Unfortunately, bad things happened and it was stolen. So it's going to take you even longer because it's not like you wanted it to be like that.
Right.
So she has to allow herself that time.
Yeah, she needs
take
to
as
cope.
many times as, many hours, days, years that you need. Get yourself over the mourning and over that situation, and then it'll happen. It'll fall in your place when it's ready for you.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I try to put myself in those shoes too. Like, what would I do? And I mean, that's got to be devastating because
that's so
now,
tragic.
I have my soulmate, and I really believe you only get one soulmate per lifetime.
It's horrible.
So,
Damn. Well,
but there's always that one person that you'll never feel the same about them. Especially if it's. I mean, obviously, if you're with your soulmate, I'm with mine now. We have no intentions of splitting up. I mean, God forbid something happens, it'll be devastating. But to have somebody tragically taken from you like that, that's the killer. And I think that she can move on. She will move on because she's still young enough, of course. But I think her concern also is she doesn't want to replace her husband, which you're not going to do that anyway. You're never going to love the next guy the way you loved him. You're going to love, but that guy's not going to have the love that your husband had from you and vice versa.
It's just a different relationship.
but I'm sure if he was the love of your life, he would want you to love again. So
Absolutely.
that's what you have to think about. He would
Absolutely.
want you to not be alone, and he would want you to find love again. And then at the end of whatever, you'll be together again. So
Exactly. There's something out there. I believe that. But more importantly, you're not going to love the next guy the way that you loved your husband, but you will love, and that's important too, because you need a companion to go through life and have hopes and dreams with. It just improves your life as well. But also, I just want to tell this quick story because this actually happened to another couple that I know. They're an older couple. They're what do I say? They're retired now, so that's how much older they are. The guy lost his wife a few years ago to breast cancer, and she lost her husband to pancreatic cancer. So they met through a mutual friend, became friends at first, and now they're together. They have no intention of getting married, but they formed this bond, I guess you could say, because they both lost somebody that they loved at one time,
Right.
and they found strength in each other. So that can happen too. But also get out there and start joining some singles groups. There's everywhere. Google's a wonderful thing. Find out what's going on in your area and go meet other singles like yourself. Have a good time.
Yeah, you never know
Just
who
be
you're gonna
safe
meet.
about it. You never know.
Yeah.
Good luck, Kelly. I love that she shares her stories with me all the time. Also, okay, so now let's talk some more tips for people that may have experienced something similar to Kelly. First off, you know, like we said earlier, you're never going to love the next person as you did your soulmate that was taken from you. And that's okay. And they'll understand that too if they've been through anything similar. Give yourself permission. My casting director, Barbara Abel, shout out to her. She has given me this technique of give yourself a permission slip to do something that you feel like you can't do.
Ooh, I like that.
And it actually works. I mean, for me, it's like, give yourself permission to totally be yourself, which is what I've done. In this situation, it works the same way. Give yourself a permission slip to go out and have a good time and maybe meet somebody. Even if it's a one-night thing, hey, we all have needs and desires. We're not condoning bad behavior, but certainly have some fun.
I agree. What
you have
would
to
yours
allow
be?
yourself. You can't talk about that on air.
Yes, we
That's
can.
behind the scenes.
We're like, yeah, I can.
But certainly, I mean, little techniques like that, I mean, you have to go out and still enjoy your life, especially if you're young.
Absolutely.
So those are our tips here.
Brittany, let's go live a little.
I would, but you didn't
She
invite
was,
me.
but she's committed.
She's mad at me. I didn't invite her on vacation. I did.
That's right. You went away. Now tell me, like, okay, truth or dare now?
Truth or dare?
Truth.
Dare.
Truth.
Dare you to tell me the truth.
Oh, good one.
Did you have fun on this trip?
It's not yet. I didn't go yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going. This one's spring break trip. Yes, I'm going to have fun. Yes.
Good for you.
For sure.
Oh God,
We'll
we should
have-
go and like
we'll have-
totally video you.
we'll have-
I know,
tails
let's just
when I come
sneak
back.
in.
We should. Is it a cruise?
No, we're going to Mexico.
So,
Nice.
me and Jason are going. We're not telling you where we're
Listen, let me tell
staying
you,
or
those
anything.
Latin lovers are hot. You'll have a good time.
Okay,
You
sounds
will.
good to me.
I'm speaking from experience.
Me too.
We'll have a recap of Desert's
Definitely.
Chronicles
Oh my
of
God, we should
Desert's
take the
trip.
show on the road and
We
do
should.
it down
Let's just
there.
do it.
If I see camera
coming with
guys
you.
behind like the palm trees, I'll be like, hey.
All right, so now it's time to move on to questions from our viewers. All of you that tune in every week, thank you so much. Desiree, we'll start with you. What do you got?
All right. So this is from 80. Dear Jason, after completing my graduate studies in December 2013, I moved to Mexico City in 2014 with my boyfriend, who they met at grad school together. We both started working at the government. A month ago, I was fired from my job because I wouldn't compromise my ethics, and a few days later, after being together for 2 years, my boyfriend broke up with me. Ooh. I was hurt, but I decided that I would continue with my life. I applied to this wonderful job and started meditation and going more than 2 hours to the gym, but I haven't found a job yet. A couple of days ago, I met with my former boyfriend, and he told me that he misses me so much, that he is still in love with me, but he doesn't think we'll get back together anytime soon. Weird. He terminated the relationship because he's 26 and doesn't want to get married with me yet, and I'm 28. I don't know where he got that idea from, and I told him that I'm in no rush to get married. After our conversation, I'm feeling very sad, and I'm thinking of going back home because I feel so lonely, have only like 2 friends here, and because there are a lot of reminders of him. He's my neighbor. I mean, he can look right into my window and wave.
Ooh.
That's rough. Her question is, what should I do to regain my inner peace, and should I stay or should I go?
Should I stay?
Well,
Should I go?
let's analyze a little bit here. They're both very young. You know, under
Yes.
30, I think, is young to really consider a marriage in a lot of cases. And I think it sounds like he might have some commitment issues.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If he's saying he's still in love with you and he misses you, but doesn't
But he
want to
doesn't
get
want to
back
get
to
married.
you,
Yeah. I think it's an awkward age for men.
Yes,
Wait, we have a
especially
straight
he's-
guy that's in his 20s here. Mike, talk to me. I'll relay. What are your thoughts? I mean, are you thinking about marriage at this point? You're with Stacy, who we love.
Yes. Too early.
Too early?
Too early.
He says it's too early.
Too. Even she thinks we have to get our lives in order.
So from a straight guy's perspective, do you think that this guy here just has some commitment issues going on?
He probably wants to
Have his cake and eat it
experience-
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Mike says he's just wants to
and she's
experience.
also older.
Yeah, she's
And
older.
that's a big gap. 2 years older and being the female,
Yeah.
she's probably been ready for
And
marriage.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
at that age where she wants to get
Yeah.
married and like start a family by 30.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
he's probably
So it's
like,
stupid.
I'm still 26 years old. 26 is really young,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially
Young
for
for
a
a
man
guy.
to think about marriage.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is no offense to straight men whatsoever, but I think at that age they're not ready for that. You know, and our straight guy over here can vouch. He's shaking his head no, so they totally get it. I think for her, what she needs to do to answer her question, you know, have a discussion with him and just lay it all out on the line. That's the best thing you can
Right.
do is open communication and say, listen, this is what my intentions are, and this is what I want. If you can't give it to me, then, you know, I'm going to have to move on. And
Right.
unfortunately, if he's not going to be the bigger person to say, you know what, I'm not going to live next door to you anymore,
Right.
then she's going to need to pick up and move
Yeah.
herself. And, you know, it could be
Agreed.
a move for the better. I
Yeah.
think one of her questions was, should she move back home to the
Yes.
States? No, I don't think you
No.
have to do that. I think if you just found yourself another place in your area away from him, you just need to be away from him. But try the whole discussion thing first and lay it all out there. Figure out what he wants, figure out what you want, and if those two things aren't coinciding with each other, then you need to move on.
Yeah, but I
Absolutely.
think the move home is drastic. I just think that
Yeah.
she move a town over. I'm sure you'll feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But he doesn't seem.
You might be able to remain
Able, right.
friends,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think now is the time to
think-
pursue a relationship
Yeah, I
with
think she
him.
needs some time apart from him, though. Even if they could be friends in the future, just take some space from him, depending on what he says when she talks to him.
Right.
But
I agree. Okay, Brittany, your
My
question.
turn. Okay, this is from a woman. Whose name I can't pronounce. We think it's What do we think it is?
Jaquita.
Jaquita?
Jaquita, that's
Jaquita.
pretty.
I like
Jaquita,
it.
we'll go with that.
Well, I will do it that one. If it's not, I'm sorry. I can't read. Okay. I'm an open-minded woman. I love new adventures, but lack the courage to date while being a full-time mom with no assistance from her child's father. He is also nowhere to be found to disrupt our future. Am I holding on with fear or being uptight? My mom now is also single and is on her own. What? Oh, wait, no. Sorry. Okay, now she's going somewhere else. She goes, now my mom also was single on her own with myself and my 2 sisters, and I hated to see her date. Maybe that is also blocking me. Okay, so she went and told a story there.
Okay, yeah, she fit in a little story there, a little confusing. This is what I got out of it, and let's just clarify. She's single herself. She's a single mom. She doesn't get any assistance from the dad, and it sounds like her mom was also a single mom and raising kids and didn't date either. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so she wants to know if she should start. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody needs to not date, but I think her real question was, how does she get the courage to go out and date? Honey, you just have to develop it.
Yeah.
That's
out of
really.
your
I think she's
comfort zone.
afraid of her children not wanting her to date. 'Cause it sounds like she's saying, me and my sister hated to see my mom like that. So either you're afraid of your
Right.
kids not allowing you to date, or you're afraid for them to see you get hurt.
But you know what? The
But-
kids don't have to
Exactly.
know mommy's dating right away.
Right.
Like, if it's not serious, the kids don't have to know about it. When it gets
Yeah.
serious and you feel like this could be a long-term thing, you know, baby steps, like, let it get there. But
And I would say don't
kids.
introduce your date of 3 weeks to your children. And
Right.
you don't need to
Yeah.
have in and outs of
keep it separate.
for a couple months and off. When you know it's serious, then you can say, look, this is someone I want you to meet. I want it to be in your life. But
Right.
don't introduce them just to pull them out of their lives.
Absolutely.
Mommy needs to play. Mommy needs her play dates.
Yeah, we all do, right? Now, I experienced firsthand, my mom was a single mom when I was growing up, so I could tell already that when you're a single mom and you're raising kids on your own, you're already a strong woman. So you have
absolutely.
the confidence.
Oh, yeah.
You just need to apply that same confidence to your dating world. But here's the thing, and I always go back to this because I always love to think of dating as an audition. You know, you can audition as many people as you'd like. You know what you want, you know what you like, you know what you're into. If they don't fit that, then after a date or two, then you cut them loose. They don't get the call back.
Yeah.
You don't have to call them back. You don't have to see them again. You're in complete control. This goes for every woman, everyone out there that wants to start dating. You're the one that's in the driver's seat in
Yep.
control. So you just think of it that way. Get out there. This is where I'll recommend internet dating because I don't think you'll find somebody that's going to be a father figure to your kids or a husband figure for you in like a bar or a club.
Right.
Probably
It's cool to
not.
go out and have fun, but if you're looking to really settle down, the singles groups, as we said,
Yeah,
and
those
even
are
some
good.
internet dating is a good thing to start because you can put in your profile what you're looking for and what you want, and then you can kind of go through other people's
It
profiles
weeds out
and
the
see.
people who are a definite no for you, so it just
Yeah.
makes it that much easier to find the yeses.
Absolutely.
And those singles groups, they have like, she says she likes adventure. They have those adventurous
They have
groups with
hiking,
the
they have
whitewater
biking.
rafting. They have all
Yeah.
that stuff. Do something you want to do and you might find someone there.
Exactly. I mean, you can have more fun single than you can in
Yeah.
a relationship. All right, last but not
comment.
least, it is our favorite game is back, sink or swim. Are you ready?
Yay.
Grab your cards, girls.
Let's
It's time
do
to
it.
play.
I'm ready.
It's the favorite time of the day, right?
Yes.
Deciding fate in people's lives. I love it. Here we go. Dear Jason, I really like this guy I've been seeing, but I think it's only sexual for him. He keeps dropping hints that he wants to sleep with me, but I'm not at that point with him yet. I enjoy his company, and I'm starting to really like him a lot. But I get the feeling that he's only attracted to me physically. How can I pursue this relationship and get him to see me more than just a sex object? What a problem to have, signed
Yeah,
Aiden.
wow.
Well, I mean, if he has not slept with you yet, and he's still seeing you,
He
I
must
think
like
there's
you
a
little.
chance that he does like you.
Yeah.
And let's face it, he is a man. He has needs.
This
He's
is
going
two
to
men here,
want.
by the way, yeah.
He's going to
Yeah.
want to, engage in sexual contact
Right.
with you.
Uh-huh.
But that's good. You should want that.
Exactly.
You should want your partner to want you like that.
Maybe
Yeah.
we're not the best people to ask this
Yeah,
question
But
to.
I'm
I
just
will
going to say
say,
sleep with them. So.
if you're into him
do
like
it.
that, then might as well just if you're into play it along. See
Right?
what happens.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see an
I mean,
issue
if
here.
it happens
I
and
say
then
swim.
nothing goes on with it,
Get
then
wet.
Okay, so Brittany's just gonna let you swim. So I guess we'll just jump the boat here and swim along.
She's throwing you feet first. No, but speaking from a gay guy's point of view, because this is two men here, Aiden and a guy. So I absolutely believe that our sex drives are just higher to begin with, and it's not such a bad thing to just want to, I mean, you're attracted to the person, like you said, he's still seeing him, so there must be more to it there. Maybe he's just looking at it wrong. But to answer your question also, I don't think you have to do anything to change yourself. I think you should just keep being you because he's been with you this long, and have fun with it. I mean, you don't know if you're going to marry this guy. You're not saying anything like that.
And if you're really not ready, you have to do what's best for you.
Right.
But if you're just worried that he's in it for just that, then hey, you're never going to know until you try it.
Yeah.
And I just disagree. Like Desiree said, if he's still there, there's something there that he likes. I mean,
he could probably easily go out and find someone to handle those needs, but he's sticking around because he wants it with you.
Yeah.
And he hasn't had it with you yet, so obviously he's going to want it that
desire
much
is
more.
there,
It's so funny. You guys should have been here before we started filming because we were having a whole big discussion about sex lives here.
You know he wants you sexually, so just
use it to your advantage. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it too much. So we're going to swim on this one. Ending on a happy note today. What fun today. I love Wednesdays. Happy hump day, everybody. Tune in again next time because we're going to be talking about the top 4 signs that it's time to say goodbye. So if you're ready to say goodbye, then come back and rewatch this show on how to get over it.
good stuff.
Thank you, gals. I'm Jason Galka. Mwah. See you next time.